Okay, there you go.
Hi, so I'm Danny Gray, I'm Industry Manager with Google.
Danny, you're going to be discussing YouTube and a lot of the functionality and just how to share content on YouTube. What sort of advice would you give for people who are looking to use YouTube, how most effective to use it?
I think the one thing we found is it really is this kind of central hub really for uploading, sharing video content. That's probably how everybody knows YouTube in the first place, from going on there, looking at clips, watching TV shows, even movies now as we're getting kind of more high quality content on there. One of the things we're going to focus on today is how that fits in with the overall social media landscape. So, for example, people upload their content on YouTube, but then they may talk about it on Twitter, they may share it on Facebook. So it's really kind of the central hub to put your content and to share that with your social media contacts, but that really does link in with all the other kind of platforms that we look at and we're going to talk about today as well.
Is that something that YouTube deliberately tries to promote, its use on other platforms? I mean, would it be the system it is today if it didn't have that functionality?
I think it's not something we necessarily set out to achieve with YouTube. It was always about a place to host your video content, but then what's the point in having that if people don't get to see it? So a lot of the stuff we're focusing on now is how to get your content noticed. A lot of that is to do with advertising and media spend to promote that, but also we're looking much more now. One of the things we're going to touch on today is about how that fits in with the paid, owned and earned model of social media. So we're going to talk a lot about how you're going to get earned media on top of your advertising spend, and that kind of fits in with things like Twitter and Facebook as well. In terms of you might have some content on there you want to get people to see, you're going to have a certain media spend associated with that. For example, like the YouTube homepage takeover to really get a lot of views behind that. But then you can expect to get a decent number of earned views on top of that as well. So we're going to kind of touch on that really and show that how YouTube's really a platform to launch viral campaigns and to get a lot of earned views of your media.
You're later on going to be discussing Google Plus and hopefully revealing some more secrets. Can you tell us anything you're going to be talking about later on or revealing?
There won't be too many secrets, unfortunately. I wish there were, but I either don't know them or I'm not allowed to share them with you. So I think some of the coolest things are we're going to have an overview really of Google Plus. I think a lot of people in the audience will be familiar with that already, but it's also more specifically about why you might want to use it, what it can do for your business. For example, one of the coolest features which kind of links back to YouTube is that one of the features we rolled out recently is you can watch YouTube clips alongside of your social contacts. So if you're having a conversation with somebody on Google Plus, you can be like, hey, there's some great content on YouTube, why don't we watch it together? And you can do that through Google Plus. So I don't think too many secrets at the moment, unfortunately. It's still very much a project, it's still very early stages, and we're waiting to kind of get the results in on that, and then hopefully we'll be able to let you know some other things.
One of the early talking points with Google Plus was companies hoping to have their own profiles on there. Is that any closer to happening, allowing companies to actually have their own pages?
At the moment it's still in the works, so we don't have an official launch date for when that's going to be. I'm hopeful it's going to be before the end of this year. At the moment we're gathering a lot of feedback from companies and brands about what they want. So the reason for this is we want to get it absolutely right. We want to take a lot of feedback into account. We want to understand what's going to be most valuable for brands, and when we actually do open this up, it's going to really hit all those objectives and tick all those boxes for what brands want. So unfortunately no launch dates, but we're actively taking feedback, and anyone who's interested can certainly let us know that, register that with us, and we'll keep them updated when some things about to be released.
How would they go about registering them? Where would they go to do that?
Essentially it's very much based on your relationship manager within Google, so I'm going to be happy to share my email address with people today, and if there are brands there who want to get signed up for that, then they can let me know and I'll share that with our team internally.